over this computer board, and I want to be able to identify you quickly. Juror number 2.
I'm juror number 2, and I think it's proper.
Juror number 3, please. Mr. Curley.
I'm juror number 7. I'm sorry. I'm juror number 7. I'm sorry.
Juror
I'm
number
juror number 3.
Ms. Fitzpatrick.
Yes, I think it's proper.
Juror number, we'll get to you in a minute, juror number 7. Juror number 4.
Proper.
Juror number 5.
Proper.
Juror number 6, Mr. Hilliard.
Proper.
Juror number 7, Mr. Curley.
Proper.
Juror number 8.
Proper.
Juror number 9.
Proper.
Juror number 10.
Proper.
And juror number 11, please.
Proper.
Thank you very much. Let me go on to the next series. Has anybody on the panel or any members of your family ever worked at a nursing home? No show. Oh, juror number 5.
Yes.
And when was that, ma'am?
It was 3 years ago. I worked as a waitress at a nursing home.
Okay. Were you involved in patient care at all?
No.
Okay. Did you have, okay, has anybody ever had a parent, Mr. Hilliard, you had a,
Yes.
you
I
worked at a
worked.
nursing home?
Yes, I did. For the physically handicapped.
What were your responsibilities, Mr. Hilliard?
I was in a charge position. There was a 300-bed facility, and I ran the night shift.
And how long did you work there?
About 6 months.
And why only 6 months, if I may ask?
I got another position.
In a different nursing home facility?
No, sir. No, sir. I went back into the military.
Okay. Has anyone ever had a parent, grandparent, or loved one in a nursing home? And raise your hand, please. Juror number 2.
My grandmother.
How long was your?
It was a terminal illness, so she was there to the end of her days. So it was approximately about 3 months.
And juror, there was some other show of hands. Can you raise your hands? Ms. McClung?
Yes. My grandfather, I was 11 years old, so that was 40 years ago, but he was in the nursing home until he passed away. So I'd probably say maybe 5 or 6 years.
Anybody else, please? Okay. A way that the quality of care, next slide, please, that your loved one received was, next slide, was excellent, fair, or poor? Juror number 2.
It was fair.
Juror number 10.
It was fair.
So those are 2 5s. And anybody else? Did I miss one person that had a loved one in a nursing home? Okay. Using a scale of 0 to 10. Next slide, please. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? A nursing home has a duty to provide the best care possible to its patients. Juror number 1. Mr. Botero.
Yes. 7.
Juror number 2.
I'll give that a 9.
Juror number 3.
10.
Juror number 4.
8.
Juror number 5, please.
10.
6, please.
10.
Juror number 7, please.
10.
Juror number 8, please.
10.
Juror number 9, please.
10.
Juror number, did I say juror number 10?
No, you didn't, but it will be a 10 for me.
Juror number 11.
Number 10.
Now, as the judge mentioned in his introduction, we've all heard about the effect of the COVID-19 has had on some nursing homes. My question to you is this. Can you take the slide down, please? Does anyone feel that because of COVID-19, a nursing home should not be accountable for overbilling the government? 19, a nursing home should not be held accountable if they've overbilled the government. Does anybody feel that way? Identify yourself. What numbers? Raise your hand and then I can talk to you further. Okay, let me go to the next slide. In a civil case, the only way to hold a corporation accountable is by awarding money damages. Is there anyone on the panel who disagrees and feels that it is wrong to award money damages in a civil case? If evidence, how comfortable or uncomfortable would you feel awarding tens of thousands of dollars in damages for services that were provided but had no medical value? Juror number 1, please.
9, very comfortable.
Juror 2, please.
9,
Juror 3.
9.
Juror 4.
8.
Juror 5, please.
9.
Juror 6, please.
10,
6, please.
10,
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hilliard. 7, please.
10.
Juror number 8, please.
8,
Juror number 9, please.
9.
Juror number 10, please.
10.
Juror number 11, please.
10.
Is there anyone sitting on the panel today saying if myself had asked me this question, he would have learned something very important about me that has not been revealed? Is there anyone that feels that there's something I didn't ask that it's important for you to tell me about? Any of the jurors, raise your hand and I'll talk to you individually. I guess we could maybe take it up to the bench too if we had to, but I'm not sure if we're equipped to do that. The last slide. Here's my final question and most important question. Again, we're going to use a scale of 0 to 10. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. How strongly do you agree or disagree with this statement? It is very important that a corporation be held accountable for their conduct. Juror number 1. Juror number 2.
10.
Juror number 3.
10.
Juror number 4.
10.
Juror number 5.
10.
Juror number 6.
10,
Juror number 7, please.
10.
Juror number 8, please.
10,
Juror number 9, please.
10.
Juror number 10, please.
10.
Juror number 11, please.
10.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My responsibilities have concluded at this juncture. You will be hearing from the defense now, and then the trial will resume either later today or tomorrow. And I appreciate your candid answers and look forward to with you in this process and leading to a just result for the government and the state of Washington. Thank you very much again.
So whenever the plaintiff counsel is ready, I believe Mr. Androphy is going to go first.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Before I begin my closing argument, I'd like to thank you for your attentiveness for the last 3 days. Everyone on both sides, the plaintiff, the defense, as well as the judge, appreciate your time and dedication towards listening to this case and ultimately rendering a verdict that you think is fair and just. Before I start my closing, I'd like to thank Simeon Carson at the ABA for helping put this program on, and Sue Ann Engel, who's helped everybody with the graphics, Robert Hirschhorn and Jennifer that have helped with voir dire presentation. I'd like to also thank my team members, Melody, Mark, Mike, and Janice for their dedication and devotion towards helping to present this case to you today. Next, please. Affirm Care, ladies and gentlemen, originally in the original opening argument by the defense, was portrayed as an exclusive country club of smiling faces. I actually miss seeing the pool and the tennis court. Maybe that's some other slide they use someday. What they want you to believe, ladies and gentlemen, is with these smiling faces, we care, but they really want your money to be trusted with government taxpayer funds. Next, please. What they didn't tell you to expect, ladies and gentlemen, for the government money were bed sores and ultimate death. Even the defense admits, ladies and gentlemen, that while we tell our story, and if you can remember this slide in the defense opening, the evidence will tell you the truth. And the evidence, ladies and gentlemen, was portrayed by the bed sores, by my colleagues when they presented the case to you. The defense attacked the whistleblower nurse as greedy because she reported this never should happen event with the potential to recover money from the government. We need to encourage referrals, not turn them away, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope you appreciate that. All forms of abuse in our society, elder abuse, one of the most underreported crimes in our nation, has become all too common and needs to be stopped. Like child abuse or spousal abuse, we talk about it, but until we see real life pictures or videos, we make excuses and life goes on without significant change. We all have learned recently that it takes powerful evidence to change people's views about any abuse. The recent examples, for example, of racial abuse by the police would never have accelerated and become dominant in our news cycle unless there was a video for the world to watch. You have the opportunity in this case to send a strong message, ladies and gentlemen. And you have the message you can send through the verdict form that the judge just talked about. Next, please. And the verdict form tells you, ladies and gentlemen, that the parties have stipulated, have agreed, that Affirm Living and Summerview Health have submitted claims for reimbursement from Medicare for services rendered to the following patients: Betty Price and Andrew Hollingforth. You must determine whether those claims are false for purposes of the False Claims Act. A claim is false if the defendant sought reimbursement for services that it knew were not just of poor quality, but had no medical value. The question is that you will decide from this testimony is, did Affirm knowingly submit or cause to be submitted claims for medical services that were so deficient that for all practical purposes, they had no medical value? They were of no care at all as to these patients. And the first patient you will ask to respond to is Betty Price. And we would request on the plaintiff's side, you just check yes. On the defense, the next question is, the defense will want you to check no, but our position is yes. Relating to Andrew Hollingforth, we would also ask you to check yes, because the services provided to both Ms. Price and were of no medical value, as you can see from the evidence that is presented to you. And the third question, ladies and gentlemen, would be, if you say yes, what is the dollar amount in damages owed to the government? And before you put that in there, we want to show you what the damages are to the government. The government paid, and both sides have agreed to this chart. The government paid $34,080 for the services or lack of care for Betty Price. The Medicare fee was $487 a day of taxpayer money for 60 days. The Medicaid fee was $180 a day for 27 days. This is all government taxpayer money paying for the care of Betty Price when it had no medical value. Basically, the government and the taxpayers wasted their money on the care of Betty Price, who deserved much more. I think you would appreciate she deserved much more than she got. The same as with regard to Andrew Hollingforth. The government paid $28,858 to the Smiling Face Nursing Home for the Medicare fee for skilled care, $1,614 a day for 47 days. As you would agree, ladies and gentlemen, from the evidence showed you that the care for Mr. Hollingsworth was worthless also. It had no medical value, and the government paid for it and wants their money back. And that should, ladies and gentlemen, resonate with you from what you've seen in this case. So the total amount we would ask you to order the nursing facility and the skilled facility to reimburse the government is $62,938 for the lack of care, for the worthless services that were provided to these elderly patients in this clear case of elder abuse. And we'd like you to help us put a stop to this, ladies and gentlemen. Next, please. Let me take you back to
You
the.
got 5, Mr. Androfi.
Thank you, Your Honor. Let me take you back to the nursing home. Gail and Charlie Stevens run this nursing home and operate 11 facilities across 3 states. We presented you one facility today about what occurred in this one facility. We want you to send a strong message to Gail and Charlie Stevens and people like them that you can't entice people into your nursing home with pretty flowers and beautiful landscape. What you need, if you're going to be honest with the people that you're asking to come into your nursing home, you need to tell them also that there are repercussions of coming into our home. Next, please. That this could happen to you. You don't see that up on any sign at the nursing home. All you see is smiling faces and the fact that we have beautiful flowers and nice landscaping for everybody. But they need to advertise to the public what happens when you come into that nursing home. You need to remember, ladies and gentlemen, patients come before profits. And tell Mr. and Mrs. Stevens that's the case. Don't put profits before your patients, which was clearly shown in this case from the evidence. Again, ladies and gentlemen, elder abuse is one of the most underreported crimes in our nation. And we'd like you to send a strong message to them that this needs to be stopped, like all forms of abuse in our country. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The best way you can do that today is to enter a verdict form and send that message so that everybody knows about the abuse that occurred. Thank you very much.